Hi everybody, my name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today I had the goddess Athena come to me when I was doing a reading for a client, and she explained something to me that I had never really known about, but understood that everybody's been experiencing this sequencing of numbers. Why people are seeing 11, 11, 22, 22, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are these sequences of numbers coming up repeatedly for so many people right now? And the reason she says this is happening is because that is the easy way for them to get our attention. She's saying it is the easy way for our angels, our guides, our masters to get through us through number sequences first. And what she said to me was really surprising. I'm going to reiterate it to here. She said, it's not the number sequences that is the message. The number sequence is merely to get your attention so that you can become aware of what the message is. She's amazing. She's very statuesque and tall, and there's such a beautiful feminine to her, but there's a power, like a real male energy there too that I've never experienced. And today was the very, very first time that Athena came directly to me, so it was like, wow, it was really incredible. And she was saying that the message is in the feeling component that the numbers trigger. She said, when you notice sequences of numbers, don't get caught up in the sequence of numbers. Go immediately, she said, go immediately to the feeling that's stimulated by that number sequence. It is in your awareness of the feeling that you will begin to decode the meaning of the message from a feeling perspective. You will need, she said, you will need exposure and conscious awareness of that feeling state repeatedly until you begin to understand the meaning of the vibration, which will have actual language that your brain will interpret in a fashion that you can understand and comprehend. She's saying it is not exclusive to me, it is exclusive to all of us, that we can present to you in a way that your brain can recognize there's someone communicating with you. But the next step is getting to the communication, which is not in the waving of our flag as the numbers, but in the feeling component that number sequence stimulates within you. It is that feeling component that you can learn to translate into the messages, the information, and the guidance that many of us are seeking to give to many of you in this time of ascension. There are literally over 1 billion people in our time space that are waking up right now, and they always tell me, they're saying, these billion people need to be made aware of why things are happening the way they're happening. They are trying to get our attention through mechanisms that we can comprehend through our sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, but that it's the feeling energy behind the triggers of the number sequences or that sound you hear. It's the feeling that you get inside you that has the contained message, the guidance. She says too, as you get more familiar with that feeling, you'll start to be able to articulate its meaning, because all feeling animates form. She says every emotion you have will animate a behavior in your body and in your mind. So as you pay more and more attention to the feeling component of the sequential numbers or the triggers that we have directed at you to get your attention, it is through that awareness of the feeling that you'll begin to understand what it is we're really trying to guide you towards and from and for. She says, we have such tremendous love for all of you. Many of you are still scratching your heads wondering if we are actually real or not. But you cannot avoid repetitive coincidence because there's no such thing. There is order and there is disorder. And when you see an order to events, you must understand that there is an intelligence that is directing that order for you to pay attention to. It's why it gets your attention. She says it can be very tiring sending the same message over and over and over again. From a human perspective, from our perspective, we would never run out of energy. We will keep doing it until you hear. So learn to hear. By hearing, she means the feeling energy. I will translate and redirect what she's saying so that it's in language that we can understand. But the feeling, emotion, energy that's there, it's the encoded information, it's the guidance. And I know from personal experience, I went through a process where I could feel things, but I was feeling communication, I feel like something around me, and the more I became aware of the feeling, the more I began to sense the meaning of it. I then began to start getting words, phrases, I love you, we are here, we appreciate you, we love you, we respect you, we wish to help you. And as I began to get connected to the language that came from the feelings, it became easier and easier for me to hear Master Jesus and Buddha and Kuan Yin and Lao Tzu and many others that have come to me, and even Lady Athena today. So I encourage you to really start to pay attention to that feeling component, because it will take time for your brain to rewire itself to interpret the information differently, because you've been so caught up, like I was for many years, caught up in the effects, the flags trying to get our attention rather than the message. So it's like somebody waving to you, and you're looking at the waving, but you're not listening to what they're saying. So the feeling that is in in behind the trigger that stimulates and gets your attention, the sound you hear, the voice, the number sequences. She's telling me right now there are many more than number sequences, but number sequences are very prevalent right now. She's saying there are beings like Metatron that come through the number sequences also, not just I. Whatever will get your attention is what we will use. If it gives you, if it gathers your attention by dropping a feather at your feet, we will do that. If it gets your attention by honking a horn at a key point in which you're saying something, we will do that. We will do whatever it is we can to get your attention. But you must learn to listen. We cannot make you listen. We can only get your attention. But you must take the effort, the time, and the energy to learn to decode the vibrational meaning of the emotional energies embedded in the signals that we send to you, that you pick up. And many of you pick these up all the time. Do not write them off as coincidence, for it will be written off as coincidence if you stay connected to the symptoms of the signal rather than the message underlying it. She wants me to reiterate, important that you identify the feeling that you get the moment you recognize a number sequence or an external trigger that gets your attention, and you know that it's from us. You sense it's from us, but you don't know how to prove it consciously. Go to the feeling so that you can start to access our communication with you directly. It is through repeated experience, that feeling state, that information and language will become apparent to you, and you will hear us with your ears and eventually see us with your eyes as well. For the perception of your eyes can be shifted by a clear intention of wanting to see more than what you are used to seeing from your acquired perspective of what you think you can see with your eyes. The amount of excitement, her energy is like, it's literally, if I could give her energy a color, a sequence, it would be gold. It's like this golden honey energy that I just love. And I'm really honored that she came to me today, but she said tonight, please communicate the message. She'd asked me to do it a number of hours ago, but I've been busy with other things. So I'm bringing this communication from her to you, and she says, and from many others, for the process is universal, this method of getting your attention and being able to seed the information and the messages to you in the feeling component of the triggers that we use to get your attention. Thank you, Lady Athena. Anyway, I want to thank you for taking the time. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. We're almost up to 1,000 subscribers on our channel. It's really amazing. It's grown so much in this last 7 months, and they told me this was going to happen. And anybody who's getting connected to their guides and angels at this time, anybody getting connected to them, aspiring to commune with them, learn from them, work with them, you are becoming a light worker. You are being initiated into bringing humanity into this fifth dimensional state of consciousness and bringing the consciousness of the planet to a new paradigm of expression. But it requires that we get as many of us harmonized into a state of love and grace as possible. And they repeatedly tell me, this is what you're here to do. This is what the light workers are here to do, to bring a consciousness of love as the dominant vibration in human collective unconsciousness, so that the electrical field around the planet can be balanced and harmonized intentionally through a frequency of love, instead of imbalanced by the frequencies of fear that have been prevalent for the last 70 years. They're saying it won't take that long to correct it when there are enough people involved. It will happen very quickly. Anyway, thank you very much for taking the time, and thank you for showing in. And if you got any questions or concerns, any comments, please leave them below, and I'll do the best I can to get to them. Much love to all of you. Have a wonderful and joyful day.